Before you eat breakfast, I want you to stop and really think about what's on your plate. Because that very first choice you make every single morning can either fuel your health or silently destroy it. We've been lied to for decades. We've been told that a healthy breakfast is cereal, oatmeal, orange juice, maybe even a muffin with some low-fat yogurt. But here's the truth, those foods are not helping you. They're spiking your blood sugar, inflaming your body, and shutting down one of the most important molecules your body produces, nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is your body's miracle molecule. It opens up your blood vessels, keeps your circulation flowing, helps your brain focus, fuels your workouts, and even arms your immune system to kill off viruses before they take over. If you don't have enough nitric oxide, you're tired, inflamed, and more likely to get sick, and the very foods most people eat for breakfast suppress nitric oxide production, leaving you sluggish and vulnerable before the day even begins. But here's the good news. You don't need a prescription. You don't need a pharmacy. Your body is the pharmacy. You just need to give it the right fuel. There are simple foods you can eat before you touch your so-called healthy breakfast that will boost nitric oxide, kill viruses naturally, and shut down inflammation. And when you learn to start your day this way, your energy, your focus, and even your metabolism change almost overnight. So before you eat breakfast tomorrow, I'm going to show you exactly what to do instead. You've been told your whole life that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and that part is true, but not in the way you've been led to believe. What most people are eating for breakfast is the exact thing that sets them up for fatigue, weight gain, brain fog, and inflammation for the entire day. Think about the so-called healthy options you see promoted everywhere: a bowl of oatmeal with skim milk, maybe some orange juice on the side, or a whole grain toast with jam. The food industry has marketed these as health foods, but in reality, they're blood sugar bombs. When you wake up in the morning, your body has been fasting for 8, 10, maybe 12 hours. Your insulin levels are at their lowest, your fat-burning switch is turned on, and your body is primed to repair. But the moment you take in that big bowl of carbs and sugar, all of that changes. Your blood sugar spikes, insulin shoots up, and instead of burning fat, your body locks itself into fat storage mode. And here's where it gets even more damaging. Those sugars don't just affect your waistline. They interfere with nitric oxide production, the molecule your body relies on to keep your blood vessels open and your immune system alert. Nitric oxide is made in the lining of your blood vessels. It signals them to relax, to expand, to deliver oxygen and nutrients throughout your body. But high blood sugar actually reduces the ability of your blood vessels to make nitric oxide. That means your circulation suffers, your energy drops, your brain doesn't get the oxygen it needs, and your immune defenses are weakened right at the start of your day. You may not feel it immediately, but the long-term effect is low-grade inflammation running through your body, the kind that drives chronic disease, fatigue, and accelerated aging. Take orange juice, for example. It's marketed as a natural vitamin C-rich drink that belongs at the breakfast table. But when you look at the numbers, a glass of orange juice is just as much sugar as a glass of soda. It doesn't matter if the label says no added sugar. Your body doesn't see the difference. That rush of fructose and glucose slams into your system, spikes your insulin, and suppresses nitric oxide. So while you think you're starting your day with something healthy, you're really inflaming your arteries and slowing down your natural defenses. Or think about oatmeal. It's been pushed as a cholesterol-lowering, heart-healthy food, but once you eat a bowl of oatmeal, it quickly breaks down into glucose, sending your blood sugar soaring. Add some bananas or honey like most people do, and you've just turned breakfast into dessert. And what's worse, that insulin spike sets you up for a crash mid-morning. That's why you get hungry at 10 a.m., why you reach for coffee, or why you feel like you need a snack just to get through the morning. It's not that you don't have willpower. It's that your breakfast was designed to keep you in a sugar-burning, inflammatory cycle. Now let's look at toast. Whole grain, gluten-free, multigrain, whatever label is slapped on it, toast is still just bread. Bread is broken down into sugar rapidly, and paired with jam or margarine, it's a fast track to more inflammation. That combination not only spikes glucose, but it also disrupts your nitric oxide pathways. When nitric oxide is suppressed, your arteries stiffen, your circulation slows, and your cells don't get the oxygen they crave. Over time, this isn't just about feeling tired or sluggish. It's about creating the perfect environment for chronic inflammation to grow silently in the background. And here's the thing, the body is resilient. It can handle an occasional indulgence. But when the first thing you do every single morning is load yourself up with sugar, you're stacking the odds against yourself day after day. It's like trying to drive with the parking brake on. You might get moving, but you're burning out your engine the whole time. And because nitric oxide is such a key player in blood flow, brain function, and immune defense, that daily sugar hit is doing far more damage than just making you hungry before lunch. It's cutting off your body's ability to heal and protect itself. Most people don't connect the dots between their breakfast and how they feel in the afternoon. They just accept that the mid-day crash is normal, or that getting sick often is bad luck, or that high blood pressure runs in the family. But when you understand how much that first meal matters, you realize it's not about bad luck or bad genes. It's about bad fuel. The wrong breakfast keeps you inflamed, blocks nitric oxide, and sets you up for cravings and fatigue. The right choice flips the switch in the opposite direction. There's a molecule inside your body that you've probably never thought about, but it's one of the most important things keeping you alive and healthy every single day. It's called nitric oxide. And I like to think of nitric oxide as your body's miracle molecule because it touches almost every system in your body. When you have enough of it, you feel energized, your brain works like a high-performance engine, your blood flows smoothly, and your immune system has the weapons it needs to fight off invaders. When you don't have enough of it, you feel tired, your blood pressure creeps up, your brain feels foggy, and you get sick more easily. Nitric oxide is produced in the lining of your blood vessels. Picture your arteries and veins as millions of tiny highways carrying oxygen, nutrients, and energy to every single cell in your body. For those highways to work properly, traffic has to flow. Nitric oxide is like the traffic cop telling your blood vessels to relax and open up so the flow can move freely. Without it, the highways get jammed. The vessels stiffen, blood pressure rises, and the cells waiting at the end of the line don't get the oxygen they need. That's why nitric oxide is so essential for heart health, brain health, and energy. Think about the last time you felt sharp and clear in the morning, focused without caffeine, and energized without needing a snack every 2 hours. That's what it feels like when nitric oxide is doing its job. Your brain is one of the most oxygen-hungry organs in your body. It's only about 2% of your weight, but it uses up 20% of your oxygen. Nitric oxide makes sure that oxygen actually gets delivered to those brain cells, keeping your memory sharp, your focus tight, and your mood steady. Without it, your brain is starved for oxygen, and that's when you get brain fog, poor focus, and even mood swings. But nitric oxide is more than just an oxygen delivery system. It's also a powerful weapon your immune system uses to protect you from viruses, bacteria, and other pathogens. When your immune cells encounter a virus, one of the ways they destroy it is by producing nitric oxide. That nitric oxide damages the virus from the inside, breaking it down so your body can get rid of it. Without enough nitric oxide, your immune system is like a soldier without ammunition. You're left defenseless against the viruses and bacteria you encounter every single day. Athletes have known about nitric oxide for years because it's one of the key reasons why beets and leafy greens improve performance. When you boost nitric oxide, your blood vessels expand, more oxygen gets delivered to your muscles, and you can push harder, recover faster, and perform better. That same principle applies to everyday life. If your muscles, your brain, and your organs are all getting the oxygen and nutrients they need, you're going to feel younger, stronger, and more resilient. Here's the problem. As we age, our natural production of nitric oxide drops. By the time you're 40, you're making about half as much nitric oxide as you did when you were 20. By the time you're 60, it's even lower. That decline is one of the hidden reasons why blood pressure tends to rise with age, why energy levels dip, and why immune defenses weaken. It's not just getting older. It's that the body's miracle molecule isn't being produced the way it used to. And to make matters worse, the standard diet most people are eating every day makes the problem even worse. Processed carbs, sugar, and chemical additives interfere with nitric oxide production. So it's a double hit. You're producing less because of age, and you're destroying what you do produce with the wrong foods. But when you feed your body the right fuel, when you give it the natural compounds it needs, nitric oxide levels can rise again. Foods like leafy greens, beets, garlic, onions, and citrus are not just healthy foods. They're nitric oxide boosters. They provide the building blocks your blood vessels need to keep producing this miracle molecule. Think of them as the raw materials for your body's internal pharmacy. Every time you eat them, you're handing your body the tools it needs to keep your arteries open, your brain sharp, and your immune system loaded. Most people spend their mornings fighting against their biology, pouring sugar into their system and expecting energy and focus in return. But the truth is, your energy, your focus, your resilience, they all come back to nitric oxide. When you wake up and start your day by supporting it instead of suppressing it, everything changes. Blood flows better, oxygen gets delivered where it's needed, inflammation calms down, and your body goes from fighting to healing. That's why this molecule is so powerful, and why what you put in your body before breakfast matters more than you've ever been told. Your body was designed with a built-in defense system that's smarter than any supplement or drug. Every single day you come in contact with viruses, bacteria, and countless microbes. You touch a door handle, you shake someone's hand, you breathe in the air around you, and there are pathogens everywhere. The reason you don't get sick all the time is because your body has an immune system that knows how to recognize invaders and destroy them. And one of its most powerful weapons is nitric oxide. When a virus enters your system, your immune cells spring into action. One of the first things they do is release nitric oxide, because nitric oxide has the ability to break down viruses from the inside out. It literally disrupts the way they replicate, making it harder for them to spread. That's why people with higher nitric oxide levels tend to be more resilient. They don't get sick as easily, and when they do, they recover faster. On the flip side, when nitric oxide levels are low, Your immune system is like a soldier without enough ammunition. You're left more vulnerable to whatever is floating around you. And here's where food comes in. Because the foods you choose before you eat breakfast can either load your body with the weapons it needs or strip them away. Garlic and onions are two of the most powerful examples. For thousands of years, they've been used as medicine. Ancient civilizations knew that garlic wasn't just a spice, it was a healer. Soldiers in ancient Greece and Rome used garlic as protection against infection. During the Black Plague, people carried garlic around their necks as a shield against disease. Centuries before modern science could explain it, people understood that garlic could fight off illness, and today, we know why. Garlic contains compounds like allicin that act as natural antimicrobials, killing bacteria, fungi, and even viruses. When you eat garlic, you're not just adding flavor to your food, you're handing your immune system a powerful tool to defend itself. Onions work in a similar way. They contain sulfur compounds that help your body produce more glutathione, the master antioxidant that supports your immune system and reduces inflammation. Together, garlic and onions are like nature's antibiotics, except without the side effects and without wiping out your healthy bacteria. When you make them a regular part of your diet, you're building an invisible shield that strengthens your body's defenses from the inside. Then there are leafy greens, spinach, arugula, kale. These are packed with natural nitrates that your body converts into nitric oxide. Every time you eat them, you're boosting your circulation and arming your immune system with the very molecule it uses to destroy viruses. That's why these greens aren't just salad food. They're immune boosting medicine. When your body has a steady supply of nitrates from plants, your nitric oxide levels rise, your blood vessels stay flexible, and your immune cells stay ready for battle. And don't forget citrus fruits like lemons and limes. Vitamin C from citrus doesn't just boost nitric oxide, it also protects it. Nitric oxide is a gas and it's fragile. It doesn't last long in the body unless it's stabilized. Vitamin C keeps it active longer, giving your immune system more time to use it against viruses. That's why squeezing lemon into your water or adding lime to your greens can make such a big difference. It's not just about taste. It's about protecting one of your body's most important defenses. When you combine these foods, garlic, onions, leafy greens, citrus, you're stacking the deck in your favor. You're creating an internal environment where viruses have a much harder time taking hold. It's like setting up security guards at every entrance of your body. The moment an intruder tries to get in, nitric oxide and these natural compounds are already there, ready to attack. Most people think they have no control over whether they get sick. They blame genetics, bad luck, or the season. But the truth is, you have more control than you realize. Every bite of food you put in your mouth is either giving your immune system ammunition or stealing it away. If your morning starts with sugar and processed carbs, you're weakening your defenses. If your morning starts with nitric oxide boosting antiviral, anti-inflammatory foods, you're turning your immune system into a shield that protects you all day long. Inflammation is a word you hear all the time, but most people don't really understand what it means. You cut your finger and it gets red, swollen, and warm. That's inflammation, and in that situation, it's a good thing. Your immune system is sending blood, nutrients, and healing compounds to repair the damage. The problem is when inflammation doesn't shut off. When it stays turned on day after day inside your body, even when there's no cut to heal, no injury to repair. That's what we call chronic inflammation, and it's the root of almost every major disease you can think of. Heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, autoimmune conditions, even cancer. They all share one thing in common, and that's chronic, low-grade inflammation burning quietly in the background. What does that have to do with breakfast? More than you'd imagine. When you start your day with processed carbs, sugar, and refined foods, you're pouring gasoline on that fire. Those foods spike blood sugar and insulin, and that roller coaster of highs and crashes sets off a chain reaction inside your body. One of the biggest casualties is nitric oxide. High sugar and high insulin shut down your ability to make nitric oxide in the lining of your blood vessels, and when nitric oxide drops, your blood vessels get stiff, your circulation slows, and oxidative stress builds up. That's the perfect recipe for inflammation to take hold. You may not feel it immediately, but it's happening. It's like a silent fire smoldering in the walls of your house. You don't notice it until the damage is already done. That's why so many people feel tired, bloated, and inflamed before the day even gets going. It's not because they didn't sleep enough or because they're getting older. It's because they're fueling the fire with the wrong breakfast every single morning. And the body responds with aches, with stiffness, with cravings, with that mid-morning slump that makes you reach for another coffee or a snack just to stay awake. These are not normal parts of aging. They're signs of chronic inflammation stealing your energy in real time. But the amazing thing is, just like food can fuel the fire, food can also put it out. When you eat foods that boost nitric oxide, you flip a switch inside your body. Instead of stiffening your arteries, you relax them. Instead of slowing circulation, you speed it up. Instead of starving your cells of oxygen, you flood them with it. That shift calms the immune system, reduces oxidative stress, and starts to extinguish the flames of inflammation. Leafy greens do this, beets do this, garlic, onions, Citrus, they all provide the building blocks and protective compounds your body needs to restore nitric oxide and switch off the fire. Think of your body like a house. Sugar and processed breakfast foods are like someone dropping hot coals on the carpet every morning. Over time, the whole house fills with smoke, but nitric oxide boosting foods are like opening the windows, turning on the ventilation, and putting out the embers before they spread. You create an environment where healing can happen instead of destruction. And here's where the connection to energy and fat loss comes in. Inflammation isn't just about disease risk 10 or 20 years from now. It directly impacts how you feel today and how your body burns fat. Inflammation interferes with insulin signaling, which makes it harder to use stored fat for fuel. It messes with your mitochondria, the engines inside your cells, so they produce less energy. That's why chronic inflammation makes you feel sluggish and why it becomes harder to lose weight, even if you're exercising and eating less. But when you lower inflammation, your cells work the way they're supposed to. They burn fat, they create energy efficiently, and you feel the difference within days. The truth is you can't drug your way out of chronic inflammation. You can't medicate your way to better nitric oxide. You have to eat your way there. Every forkful of food is either adding fuel to the fire or water to the flames. And the best time to make that choice is first thing in the morning before you eat breakfast, because that's the moment that sets the tone for your metabolism, your energy, and your inflammation for the rest of the day. When you give your body the right inputs, it responds with energy, focus, and healing. When it comes to setting the stage for your day, the best move you can make is giving your body foods that boost nitric oxide, fight off pathogens, and calm inflammation before you even think about eating a traditional breakfast. And the beautiful thing is, these foods are simple, accessible, and have been part of human diets for centuries. We've just forgotten how powerful they are. Beets are one of the top nitric oxide boosters on the planet. They're loaded with natural nitrates that your body converts into nitric oxide the moment they hit your system. Athletes drink beet juice to improve endurance because of this effect, but you don't have to be an athlete to benefit. Drinking a small glass of beet juice in the morning, adding beet powder to water, or even tossing roasted beets into a morning salad can open up your circulation, energize your muscles, and sharpen your brain before the day gets rolling. Arugula and spinach are leafy greens that pack an equally powerful punch. Arugula has some of the highest nitrate content of any vegetable, and spinach is right there with it. These aren't just salad fillers, they're nitric oxide factories for your blood vessels. Something as simple as grabbing a handful of arugula, blending it with lemon and water, or throwing a few leaves of spinach into a smoothie can completely change how your blood flows and how much oxygen your brain receives in the first hours of your day. Citrus fruits like lemons and limes work synergistically with these greens. Vitamin C stabilizes nitric oxide, helping it stay active longer inside your body. Squeezing fresh lemon juice into water first thing in the morning is one of the simplest routines you can start. It not only supports nitric oxide, but it also helps with hydration, alkalinity, and digestion. Pairing citrus with greens or beets multiplies the benefits because it keeps the nitric oxide you produce alive and working for longer. Garlic and onions bring another layer of defense. Garlic contains allicin, a compound that directly fights viruses and bacteria. Onions contain sulfur compounds that support detoxification and enhance glutathione, which is like your body's master shield against oxidative stress. Eating a raw clove of garlic might sound intense, but chopping it up and letting it sit for a few minutes before swallowing with water can be a game changer for immune health. Adding chopped onions to your morning greens, mixing garlic into a dressing, or even blending it into a savory smoothie might not sound like the standard breakfast routine, but it's exactly the kind of fuel that helps your body stay resilient. Fermented foods take it even further. Sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, and other ferments support your gut microbiome, and your gut bacteria play a direct role in converting dietary nitrates into nitric oxide. If your gut bacteria are out of balance, you'll struggle to make enough nitric oxide even if you're eating the right foods. That's why a spoonful of sauerkraut in the morning or a shot of beet kvass can amplify the effect of everything else you're doing. It's a way of upgrading the entire system from the inside out. These aren't complicated strategies. You don't need a full kitchen overhaul. You just need to swap what you've been told is a healthy breakfast for foods that actually heal. Instead of pouring a bowl of cereal, toss a handful of spinach and arugula into a blender with lemon water. Instead of orange juice from a carton, sip on beet juice or stir beet powder into water with lime. Instead of buttered toast, add a spoonful of sauerkraut or kimchi on the side of your greens. These simple swaps don't just prevent the blood sugar spike and nitric oxide crash you'd normally get in the morning. They actively fuel your body's natural defenses. When you do this consistently, you'll notice subtle changes quickly. Your energy doesn't drop mid-morning, your cravings are reduced, your digestion feels lighter, and your focus sharpens. Over weeks and months, those small changes add up to something bigger. Your blood pressure improves, your workouts feel easier, your immune system feels unshakable, and you find yourself leaning out without obsessing over calories. That's the power of choosing the right foods before breakfast. When you open your eyes in the morning, your body has just gone through hours of fasting. That time is a gift because it puts you in the perfect position to decide what fuel you're going to give yourself first. You can either choose to start with sugar, bread juice, or processed foods that shut down nitric oxide, crank up inflammation, and send you chasing energy all day, or you can use that golden window to unlock circulation, fire up your brain, calm inflammation, and shift your metabolism toward fat burning. The decision you make before breakfast sets the tone for everything that follows. The morning reset formula is built on simplicity. Step 1 is hydration, but not just plain water. Add fresh lemon or lime juice because the vitamin C helps stabilize nitric oxide and the acidity wakes up your digestion. This isn't just about quenching thirst. It's about priming your system for the day. That first glass of citrus water is like flipping on the body's internal power switch, signaling your cells that they've got what they need to thrive. Next comes your nitric oxide fuel. This is where beets, arugula, and spinach come in. You don't need a complicated recipe or fancy kitchen tools. A simple blend of beet powder mixed into water with a squeeze of lemon or a handful of arugula tossed into a smoothie can supercharge your nitric oxide within minutes. You'll feel the difference because your blood vessels relax, oxygen delivery improves, and your brain wakes up without caffeine spikes or sugar crashes. It's like flipping your circulation from economy mode to high performance. Now add the immune shield. Garlic, onions, or even a spoonful of sauerkraut or kimchi can provide compounds that strengthen your defenses against viruses and bacteria while feeding the gut bacteria that convert nitrates into nitric oxide. The combination of nitric oxide and a strong microbiome creates a defense system inside you that no supplement in a bottle can replace. It's an ancient natural pharmacy that our ancestors relied on, and now science proves why it works. This whole ritual doesn't take more than a few minutes, but the payoff is massive. You hydrate with intention, fuel nitric oxide, shield your immune system, and calm inflammation before most people even finish their first cup of coffee. From there, you can choose whether you want to eat a full breakfast later, extend your fast, or ease into your first meal at lunch. Either way, your body is already in fat-burning mode, your arteries are open, and your cells are primed for energy instead of weighed down by processed carbs. I want you to test this for yourself. Forget theory, forget studies, just experience it in your own body. For the next 7 days, start your morning with this reset formula before you eat anything else. Hydrate with citrus water, load up with greens or beets, add a little garlic, onion, or fermented food and see what happens. Don't complicate it, don't overthink it, just repeat the ritual and pay attention to the changes. Watch your energy, your focus, your hunger, and even how your mood shifts as nitric oxide and inflammation balance out. This is not about restriction or deprivation. It's about freedom. Freedom from cravings, freedom from mid-morning crashes, freedom from the slow burn of inflammation that keeps people sick, tired, and frustrated. When you choose to start your day with foods that heal instead of foods that harm, you're telling your body that it's not at war anymore. You're reminding your cells that they were designed to thrive, to burn fat for fuel, to fight off invaders, and to keep you sharp for decades. So here's the challenge. Try it for 7 days. Just 1 week of swapping the traditional breakfast for the morning reset ritual. See how much lighter you feel, how steady your energy becomes, how your cravings start to fade. Give your body a chance to prove to you what it can do when you fuel it with the right foods first thing in the morning.